Good afternoon, it is Cardiologist again. Ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a new project. This is project BMW 328i. This is a 1997 E36 328i with an M52 engine. And this car is pretty well beaten. This car does not run. The cooling system is messed up. The battery was dead, and oh, by the way, it was the wrong battery too. I was able to acquire this car through a friend who didn't want it anymore. That's a whole story. We're going to try to get this car running. We're going to try to get this car into better shape. Well, first of all, this is the wrong battery. Looked it up. It's the wrong size battery. And besides, the thing doesn't work anyway. So step number one, we're going to get ourselves a new battery. Alright, some pros and cons of the car. First of all, the color. Oh my god, who wants a green car? I don't know. Not only that, look at the quality of the paint. The paint is trashed. This car needs to be painted, but I don't know that we're going to wind up painting it. On the good side, the wheels, they're in good shape. I think they're going to clean up. And we have brand new Michelin tires all around, and that part is good. This is obviously a replacement convertible top. It is not original. It's of moderate quality, but we got the rear mirror. If you come over here, I mean the rear window, this is trashed. So we either need a new convertible top, which would be ideal, or we just need the window. The inside of this car is trashed. Okay, first of all, we can't even open the thing. Let's go to the other side. Go to the other side, take a look. What you can't smell is the mold and mildew. Obviously there's leaking. Whenever you see one of these things on your front seat, you know that that's not pretty. You have to go like this to see what it's hiding. So we have some problems here. I suppose I could fix that. Again, mold and mildew. Don't even really know whether the car starts. I've got tint on this car that should just be peeled right off. It's way too dark, it's not stylish, and it's halfway falling off. And you can see that this convertible top has been leaking. We're going to have to deal with that. Got the passenger door open. If you come over here, the whole door card is falling off. And then on top of that, it's just completely missing pieces. Probably need a new door card. Look at the mildew over here. You see this? This is actually mold because everything's been leaking. I got some crappy car cover here. I have an aftermarket stereo that was put in. It's obviously extremely expensive, but it's also extremely old. It'll be interesting to see whether that works. That might actually be interesting. I'm going to pop the hood and let's take a look at the engine. The engine seems like one of the better things. This engine seems actually pretty clean. But I was told that the cooling system is bad, and if the cooling system is bad, that means that there's a good chance that the engine got hot. Now the person who sold it to me said that it didn't get hot, and he's a trustworthy person. I don't think he's lying to me at all. I'm just wondering whether he's accurate. Because sometimes these cars can get hotter than you think, and when these cars get hot, the cylinder head warps. The head gasket is gone, so the first thing we're going to have to do is do a compression test on this car and see whether I'm going to have to do a head job on this car, because that would be a really big job. And we got leaves here at no additional cost, which is always nice. Alright, opening the trunk. First of all, we've got to get new gas struts for this. Wow, I got a lot of stuff in here. I've got the original radio, I've got some original speakers. Somebody spent a lot of money upgrading this radio. I appreciate that. When you see this in there, you know it's been eating antifreeze or leaking antifreeze, but then again, that was disclosed to me. Here's something you don't see. We actually have a BMW toolkit with the tools. You never see that on a BMW, so congratulations to the two prior owners. I will say that I knew both of the prior owners, both very responsible people. I will refer to the first one, since I am cardiologist. I'll refer to the first owner as my friend Ray. That's Ray, diologist. And then I'll refer to the second owner as car diac surgeon. And both of them, they were very good. They took good care of the car. I got a lot of receipts with a lot of money in it. Alright, so to prepare for a compression test, we're going to take off these screw covers. I've already taken off 3 of them. And try not to let them fall into the engine. Alright, that exposes these. And these are just 10 millimeters. We'll take these off and we'll be removing the plastic cover. Alright, so we took off the engine cover. You had to temporarily take off the oil cap, remove the cover, then put the cap back on. This exposes the engine ignition coils. This is a inline 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Each one of these is a coil pack. What we're going to want to do is remove these 10 millimeter screws from the coil packs, and we're going to take out the coil packs. Then we're going to remove the fuel pump relay. We're going to remove 1 spark plug at a time, and we're going to do a compression test. Alright, so we have all 6 ignition coils removed from front to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you come over to the engine, you can see that we have done that. And that is going to expose our spark plugs. The next thing to do is to take out 1 spark plug at a time and then put in the compression tester. Okay, I have a compression tester. What we do is take this piece and put this right into the spark plug hole and screw it in and hope that it bites. Yep, okay. Make it reasonably tight. Hook this up to the gauge like that. Okay, set that down. Next step is to identify the fuel pump relay or the fuel pump fuse. Remove it, that way there won't be any fuel pumping in as we're trying to crank the car. So on the E36 BMW, this is the fuse box. You lift this up, take off the cover. It'll show you where everything is. I happen to know that we're looking for the fuel pump relay, which is relay number 1. Right over here, imprinted into the plastic, is a number 1, so I know this is it. So we're going to take out the fuel pump relay like this, and now we'll be able to crank the car without having to worry about gasoline coming in there. Alright, so we can't crank the car until we put a battery in it. This car came with a battery that was dead, and you might think it was just because the car wasn't used for a while, and that was part of the reason, but it was more than that. When I went in there, I discovered that this thing was the wrong battery. I looked it up, and it's just the wrong size. So whoever put it in, well, they put in one that worked, but it wasn't the right one. So I already got rid of that, and if you look, we have a nice brand new diehard that is the correct size. This is a T7, and we're going to go ahead and install this in the trunk. Alright, so I opened up the trunk, I took out the old stuff, and what I see here is a really, really high-end and very expensive not computer system, but stereo system. Look at this. This is a big amplifier, big connectors for Polk speakers. Somebody spent a lot of money. I think this must have been my friend Ray. Alright, so I see we have a nice full-size Michelin spare. You don't get cars with full-size spares anymore. This is where the battery goes. And if you come in here, let's see, I'll get you some light. Come in here, you can see this is where the battery is supposed to go. And we're now going to install the new battery, then we can crank the car. Alright, so now we have a brand new battery in here, and it's clearly the correct size. Unfortunately, the hold down strap for this battery is missing, but we can deal with that at another time. I'm sure I'll be going to the junkyard. But you can see that the lights are on in the car, so let's go ahead and crank it, measure some compression.
Cylinder number 1.
Alright, we'll put spark plug number 1 back in. We'll torque it to 25 Newton meters. When you put in a spark plug, you always tighten it by hand first to make sure that nothing gets cross-threaded. Now that it's tight, I know I'm not cross-threaded. We'll torque it to 25 Newton meters. Alright, got the torque wrench on it. And there you go, 25 Newton meters. Let's go take out the second spark plug.
Cylinder number 4. Cylinder number 5. Cylinder number 6.
Alright, we put the engine cover back on, and I gotta tell you, we have a good engine. So I have to say to our friend Mr. Carr, DX Surgeon, he was 100% accurate when he said that this car had never gotten hot enough to cause damage, and I commend him for being able to recognize that. Most people would have just run that car while it's still hot and let it do its damage. This is a great engine. All I need to do is replace the fuel pump and get that cooling system working. Let's put the fuel pump relay back in. So, that engine fires and it runs smooth. All we need to do is do the cooling system.